Welcome back, everybody, to the Rec Room. Today, we have a very, very exciting guest. We have Elias on today. Elias is the Sydney, Brisbane, and Melbourne business manager. Elias, welcome to the Rec Room.
G'day, Brooke. Happy to be here.
Very, very good. Thanks for giving up some of your time today. Today, we're going to have a quick chat about something that is very, very close to our heart and something that pioneers our jobs every single day, which is member experience. But before we get into that, Elias, do you want to tell us a little bit about you, a little bit about your journey here at Urban Rec, and at the company and how you've gotten to where you are today?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I started ages ago in Sydney as a member. So I was playing netball for a good maybe 2 or 3 years, a few nights a week, playing fives on Tuesday, sevens on Thursday. I was fucking loving it. And then I lost my job. I lost my job outside of Urban Rec. And so I decided I wanted to be a host. I really love the vibe. I love the energy of everything. And I thought, you know what? I reckon I'd make a fucking great host. I reckon I can jump in and I reckon I can have heaps of fun. I reckon I got a good playlist too. So I started as a host. I was hosting one night a week, 2 nights a week, 3 nights a week, 4 nights a week, and until basically every day I was out at a league, hosting something, getting involved somehow. I then saw an opportunity to become a league manager part time. So I signed up for that, got the job, started like a week later. Went from there for about 6 months in Sydney. I then got moved down to Melbourne to become the one and only league manager down here.
Mm.
Uh, then I went from there to becoming the business manager of Urban Rec Melbourne. So I was doing a lot of like overhead stuff. And now I'm the business manager of Melbourne, Sydney, and Brisbane. So yeah, a real climb from a social sport to a desk job.
Yeah, wow. And I guess in a nutshell, what do you think your favorite part about your job is overall?
The members, 100% the members. Like from when I was playing to now, like the smiles on people's faces when they're playing sport, the joy, the childlike whimsy and wonder that comes out is the
Mm.
best. Also the
Oh,
worst, but the best too.
yeah. That is awesome. And I think we might touch on it a little bit toward the end, but before we get into the hardcore content of this podcast, do you have any advice? You're such a good example of someone that has grown just catastrophically within this company. Do you have any advice for hosts or members just starting out that are keen to climb within Urban Rec and, how they could possibly do that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like the amount the business has grown since I've been here, which is really not that long, is astronomical, and the potential for growth is even more astronomical. So I think if you're a diehard fan and you've always thought about getting involved, there's no better time than the present because we are just, taking over the country one league at a time. And I reckon before
That's our
long,
new tagline.
yeah, that's it. Before long, if you're playing social sport, you'll just think of Urban Rec. You won't think of anyone else, I reckon.
I love that. I love that. Well, thank you so much. That's such an exciting journey, and we're so grateful to have you on today to talk a little bit about member experience. So, I guess before we get into Urban Rec specific stuff, do you have an experience or a time that someone's gone above and beyond for you in a corporate sense and everyday life? Maybe it was someone that you knew they did something small to go above and beyond, and it's a unique experience that you've never forgotten.
Honestly, when you first started asking me this question, I thought about this Lebanese restaurant I went to a couple of weeks
Mm.
ago, and they had this maitre d' there, which I honestly didn't think that restaurants still had maitre d's. But he was there and he came up to the entrance and he was super friendly and he was like super apologetic about how it was going to be a like almost an hour wait. And
Wow.
then he noticed that we were chatting with some of the other people that were also waiting. And he went, guys, I've actually got a big table and I could probably squeeze all three of your groups on it. And so we put us together in this like amazing, like massive table towards the back and like facilitated us interacting with each other. And it was
Did
almost
he
like I
want
was
to be a
feeling,
host? Oh my
honestly,
God.
I was thinking, I was like, is this guy a host? Like, how did he work out how to do this? It was,
Yeah.
yeah, it was great. It was really good. And so I just, that's really stuck in my mind. And now every time I go back there, because I've been back a couple of times since, I'm always like asking him how he's going and stuff. And he's so funny. So yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, and I think that's such a good example of he probably didn't think about that again, but that small thing that he did to make your night better is something that has stuck with you. That is so, so good. An example that I was thinking of when I was thinking about this is a few years ago when I was really started to get into the gym, just one of the local big chain gyms. I was going there like, nearly every day for a couple of months, and then I got really sick, and so I couldn't go for a while. And I was really, really upset about it, and um, not ideal. And then I got this postcard in the mailbox, and um, it was from the gym, and they were saying, oh, like they put a little present in there, and they said, oh, Brooke, we really, really miss you. We really hope you're okay. They had this little inside joke that we had together, and they wrote on it, and just this handwritten postcard that was posted to me in the mail with, I can't remember the exact present, but just the thought that that had and the time that it would have taken them to do all that, that little gesture has really stuck with me. And that was the turning point of whether or not I was going to change gyms or stay there. So I think, yeah, any
That's really
little,
sweet. That's great.
I know. Um, yeah, we actually did that here at Urban Rec as well. In Newcastle, not that long ago, we had a league that was continuously rained out, and so we thought we couldn't really do much else for them because we couldn't tell Mother Nature to stop raining. So we hand delivered postcards through all their houses and wrote little notes on them and said that we're so grateful for them to be members. And if we could do that for every single member, we 100% would. But yeah, there's definitely little tiny things that can make a huge impact on other people. All right. So I guess in your various roles within Urban Rec, how have you been able to create unique member experience?
Um, I mean, I think to be honest with you, a big part of creating unique member experiences is making sure that your hosts are also experiencing a unique experience, right? So
Mm,
really I'd like to try and go out of my way the best I can to make sure that my hosts are happy, comfortable, safe, supported. And so I
mm,
think, because that then breeds an environment where everybody else is having fun.
mm.
And so, for example, like one of my hosts recently lost her keys at one of the leagues, and I went
The
down
keys,
there.
did you say?
Her keys, yeah, she
Yeah.
lost her keys. It was a giant grass field, and we were walking around for hours looking for these keys. We never found them until the next morning, where they
Mm.
were in the most obvious spot ever.
Oh no, of
Um,
course.
but doing something like that was really good because now she's one of our best hosts down here. Honestly, she goes above and beyond for members too, and so that, like, pass on effect,
Mm,
that chain of giving, of looking out for each other. Um,
mm,
and so now I see her down at leagues, really getting to know all the members.
mm,
Something as simple as just knowing their name is
mm,
huge. Just,
mm,
knowing their name or noticing that they weren't here the week before, right?
mm,
So sometimes I've noticed that some players have gone missing for a few weeks when I've gone down to
mm,
leagues. I haven't seen them there. And so when they're there, I go up and go, hey, what's going on? Where you been?
mm,
Like, oh, I was on my honeymoon. And you go, oh yeah, I heard about that. Even if you didn't, oh, I heard about
mm.
that. It sounded great. You guys went to Europe, right? Yeah, yeah, Spain. How'd you know? Oh, lucky guess, right?
Yeah.
Just little things like that. It goes absolutely goes a long way because everybody wants to be seen. Everyone wants to feel like they're seen and they're acknowledged and they're understood. And so when you're there, even just saying hello and remembering their name goes a long way.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I think, yeah, similar for us up here in Newcastle, people definitely come back for good hosts, and we find that good hosts, they know everyone's name, they know their children's name, they know what job they do. And like you said, just the host taking the time to remember those little things, it makes a world of difference. Like I think some hosts really get into the mindset that they're just there to play sport and they don't care about them. But that is
Mm.
so, so far from the truth.
One of my most memorable hosts, because obviously I was a player for a few years first, he used to come down and he had the best banter.
Mm,
Like hands down, I'm still yet to meet someone with better banter. And he'd come down and he'd just start talking smack from the get-go, but it just made everybody relax. The way he
Yeah.
did it was like, oh, okay, it's actually not too serious. We're not taking this too personally, and we're all taking the piss out of each other, and it's good and it's fun and it rolls on. And so like I still remember him vividly. He was very sassy and it was great. And I remember also vividly that all the teams explicitly came back for him season after season.
Wow, that is so special, very special. And I think it leads in to our kind of last little topic, which is what do you see as the host's role in member experience?
I mean, everything. Their role is the role. It's the only thing that matters because at the end of the day, us league managers and managers, we're not there every week. And if we are, we're popping in, we're popping out, we're dropping off equipment, we're maybe giving out prizes or doing an activation, but we're not there every week. And so it's really important for hosts that they're committed, right? That they're bought in and that they're, okay, I'm going to be here for the full 10-week season. Like that commitment is massive because people don't like change. And
Mm-hmm.
so we need our hosts there every week, showing
Mm,
up with a smile on their face and playing the right music,
mm,
playing, making sure that everyone's having fun, checking in
mm,
on people that look like they're not, you know. It's little things like something I noticed that a lot of my hosts do really well is if somebody has like a bump and it's not serious. It's maybe they got a little bit of a knock, and you can see their facial expression changes to pain for like a microsecond, and they move on. Just check in with them in the quarter break or the halftime break. Hey,
mm,
saw you took a knock, you took it like a champ, you moved on, like that was great, but like you're doing okay. And they go, yeah, yeah, thank you so much for checking in. No, I'm fine. And
mm,
really showing that finer detail. Right, is
mm,
it's not like the broad picture's all good, and it's hard to keep your eyes on 10 people or 14 people or
mm,
in the case of softball, 18 people at the same time, right? I mean, the batters aren't all out in the field, but still, um, keeping an eye on that many people is difficult. But when you pick up on those little things and you're really paying attention to what's happening, like they'll know, like they'll then trust you and they'll know that their safety is being looked after and they're being prioritized and they're being seen and understood. So
mm,
and that's something that we can't do. I can't do that. I don't have
mm.
a whistle around my neck when I'm down there, so I can't go and check in on people like that. And I'm not going to see every little knock and every little trip and every little thing like that. And I'm also not going to see the progression, right? Like I've had teams where I can see on because we see all the scores where I can see they've been
Mm,
losing every game, losing, and then they win one, right?
mm.
And one of our hosts the other day made like a huge song and dance about this team that won their first
That's
ever game. They won by
awesome.
like 1 point or something like that, and they
Yeah.
were over the moon happy. And if my host hadn't told me, hey, this team's won for the first time, when I went down there the next time, I wouldn't know to congratulate them, right?
Yeah.
And that really meant a lot to them as well, as they were like, yeah, okay, wow, this is good. And so it's important for hosts to put pressure on us too. Hey, you should acknowledge this thing and you should check in on
Yeah.
this person. And this person just had a kid. Next time
Yeah.
you're down, bring an extra pair of socks or something, a bit of
Yeah.
merch for the baby. Like it'll be fun, and we're happy to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, yeah, two things that really stood out to me and is definitely very relevant to me and in this region is playlists and the ability that they have to change a night is so underrated. Like when you think about, there's times that the game starts and the playlist is a couple of seconds behind it, the playlist starting completely changes the whole vibe of the game. And I've really noticed when I'm down there watching games and getting to know the host and the players, that if the hosts are playing songs that the players either know really well or have requested, it allows them to kind of switch off from the game when because they're not on all the time, depending on the sport that you're playing. So if they can just, switch off from their current reality and just dance to their favorite song, I think that has such a huge impact on the game. So I think I would definitely recommend to hosts to get a bit of a recommendation, maybe at the start of every season, not necessarily the start of every week. You can if you like, but at the start of every season, what are your favorite songs, guys? Like, what are you feeling? Make a nice playlist that will be applicable to everyone, because then you see the opposite of that. If someone's playing, I don't know, like super screamo heavy metal all night, people are a bit like, what's the go here? Um,
100%. As a host,
Yeah.
I've made that mistake so many times because I'm a
Oh,
big metalhead, and I remember going down
really?
thinking, oh, I'm gonna put a little bit of softer metal, a little bit of rock on or something. Nah, big mistake.
Really?
Back to Taylor Swift, back to Katy Perry,
Yeah,
and then
because they'll rise to
everyone's
that,
happy
right?
again.
Yeah.
100%, a
Yeah. And
hundred
the other
percent.
thing about like member experience is communication. Like you said, we can't be at every league every week all night. So hosts communicating to us is so valuable because if they don't and members don't, like we don't know what we don't know. So like you said, things like someone's had a baby or someone's had a bit of a knock or they've rolled their ankle or this kind of that means we can go and check on them and do all that aftercare. But yeah, communicating to your league manager is so important for member experience to keep us in the loop. And although we can't, always get around to do everything or see everyone or talk to everyone, we will definitely do our best. So 100% communicate to your league manager. They don't know what they don't know. Yeah, I love that. I
Definitely.
love that.
Yeah, we sit up here in our office and we act all high
Yeah.
and mighty and everything, but we've got no fucking clue what's going on. And without the
No.
hosts, we've got nothing. We've honestly
Yeah.
got nothing. I
Yeah.
do. Oh, one thing I wanted to add on the playlist, an awkward silence is horrible. Please
Oh,
put the crossfade on. Put the
yeah.
crossfade on. Put it to 10
Yes.
seconds even. Just have that. Sometimes they clash, absolutely, but that when you have a song that has a really long outro, like a 10-second
Oh my God,
outro
I
where it goes
love
quiet,
this.
it's the
Yes.
worst. I hate it when I go down to leagues and some hosts like haven't done that. I go, mate, put your crossfade on. Seriously,
Yeah.
that 20 seconds was the longest 20 seconds of my life. And
Oh
because
my
the players get
God.
used to not being as loud on court when when the
Yeah.
music is filling the air,
Yeah.
they'll be, hey, pass over here and stuff like that, but they're not chatting as much. And so as soon as the music it's stale, it's the worst. I hate it
Wow.
so much.
Yep, I love that. I love that. Yeah, okay. Well, I guess we can touch on some key takeaways that we have that we would like hosts to have. I guess mine would be that first impressions are so important. And when we talk about member experience, you don't need to be posting postcards to them and you don't need to be going super duper above and beyond and taking hours of work. It is, hey, my name's Brooke. What's your name? And then doing your best
Mm,
to remember it. Hey, what's your name again? Sorry, my name's Brooke. What's your name? That is so valuable. And, I've heard hosts talk to other hosts when they're trialing them saying that becoming friendly with the players makes the biggest difference when sometimes, and it happens on court or on the field, tensions get high when they turn around and decide they're going to have a crack at the host, they'll stop and remember, actually, you know what? I know Brooke and she makes such an effort with me every single week. And I know her, we're friends. I'm not going to have a crack at her. And I see that happen all the time. And so building those connections can help you so much when those tensions rise.
mm,
And people love talking about themselves. So if you don't know what to talk about, get them to talk about them. How was your week? How was work today? And they say good. Okay, what was good about it? Ask them about them, and that's the easiest way to make conversation. And I guess the other thing for me is, clear, consistent, and supportive communication from on the sidelines at quarter time, you talking to them, and you facilitating some healthy banter on the sidelines, or, it becomes easier for you to know your crowd, and knowing your people and knowing your crowd makes your life, your job so much easier. What about you,
mm.
Elias? What are a few things that you want to take away from it?
Well, I think what's most important is that you're having fun, right? And
Yes.
so as a host, you need to be, if you should be having either as much fun or more fun than everybody else. And
Yeah.
so by asking people questions and getting to know the players, that's going to be more fun for you. You're going to be
Mm.
more invested, you're going to be more included. Things like getting to know them will make them get to know you. Like they'll inquire in you, how have you been? What's been going on? Did you pass that exam last week? Like all these different things, like they'll check
Mm.
in on you too. Like if you look after
Yep.
them, their natural inclination is going to be to reciprocate and to look after
Yep.
you. And so, like you're saying, by humanizing each other rather than just being a referee behind a whistle and and blowing calls. Like, you're a host, you're there to facilitate, you're there to look after them, you're there to engage. And through doing that, it's going to be so much more rewarding for you. Because if you go down there every week, put the whistle around your neck, open up your phone, put Spotify on, and open up your score sheet, and don't say hi to everyone, blow the whistle, tell them to get on the field or the court, you're not having fun then.
Yeah.
That's not enjoyable. Like, this is a really, really fun job, right? It's probably one of the most fun jobs I've ever had, right?
Yeah.
And so enjoy it, because your life might get in the way and you might not be able to enjoy it anymore and you might regret it. But I definitely know for a fact that some of my hosts have made lifelong friends with some of the players and the teams that they've hosted. So
Yeah. And I think it's really important that, we address that what we're asking and, what parts of this job does take a portion of vulnerability. And for some people, that's really scary. But I think, I would encourage people to really lean into that. And last episode, Mads and I were talking about the importance of, understanding your why. And some hosts, their why is to make more friends or get better at the sport that they're hosting or be better at public speaking. And I really reiterate that is lean into that vulnerability. It is a skill that will serve you throughout your whole life in any job, any relationship. If you're able to be comfortable in an uncomfortable space, and really it's just, all right, I'm going to build up the courage to walk over to a bunch of people I don't know and introduce myself. That is such an empowering thing to do. And you will just grow and grow and grow. So my advice would be to don't be scared of it, be really excited, lean into it, and have some fun with it.
yeah, they're more scared of you than you are of them.
That's
You're the
right.
authority there. So don't worry too much about it. If you go up and you make a joke and it flops, just get better material, practice again next week.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Well, thank you so much, Elias, for jumping in, having a chat to us and enlightening us on your growth within Urban Rec.
Anytime.
Yes, no worries. Have a great day.
Cheers, you too.
Bye.
All right, see you next weekend.
See ya.